American invention if there ever was one. A chute for a bucking bronco. Just big enough for a bronc or a Brahma bull and the man on top of him. At the end of the countdown, this gate swings open and the animal takes off that-a-way. And as most of us know, for the next 8 to 10 seconds, the man earns his money in about as hard a way as there is. Most of the time, in fact, he earns nothing at all. Some of the time, he ends up in the hospital. What keeps him at it? Thrills? Challenge? Glamour? There's more to a rodeo than just a man, an animal, and the crowds. You can learn things about yourself out there in the arena, as a rodeo hand named Hobie Dunlap does. In this story, Second Chance.
Sulking won't help.
Who's sulking?
You haven't been quiet this long in a lump since you had your tonsils out.
I'm writing to Mom.
Yeah, well, it's time you use that Civil War book I bought you for some size of desk. You ought to put something in your head you can use when you go back to finish college this fall.
And who says I'm going back?
I do.
College. Civil War.
What's wrong with the Civil War?
Didn't settle nothing.
It didn't settle anything. You start talking like a rodeo hand, I'll ship you right back home, you hear me? What do you mean, it didn't settle nothing?
Still a few slaves left.
Like who?
Me.
Uh-huh.
I'm old enough to have a mind of my own. If I want to go rodeoing for a living, I got a right
Andy,
to.
we're not going through that again.
Now, Mitch, listen here to me.
One rodeo bum in the family's a planet.
Rodeo bum?
That's what I said.
Champion all around 3 times running? 38,000 in prize money last year.
All right, I'm a champion bum. I'm still a bum.
And I suppose it'll make a bum out of me if I enter the bareback at San Andreas.
It could. You just might get lucky and win a little day money. Well, there wouldn't be no turning you then. You'd end up in 10 years with a gimpy knee and a stove-up chest just like me. You finish that letter tomorrow, you get busy on that book. I want to know all about the Missouri Compromise. Fill it up, will you? You want a pop?
Yeah.
Like they're all out of pop.
Mister,
Hey, what's the trouble, Sonny?
I was wondering if you might take us to St. Andreas. We ain't got the price for our bus ticket.
Who's we?
That's my mom.
Ma'am?
You didn't say yet
I didn't say what.
if you could take us to St. Andreas.
Well, I don't see how I can turn you down now. You kind of got me backed up in the corner, haven't you? I'll take that, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm Mitch Guthrie. This Banshee back here is my brother Andy.
It's awful nice of you.
Oh,
You're Mitch Guthrie?
say so. Go on, climb in.
You going to the rodeo at St. Andreas?
Yep.
So are we. My pa's entered in saddle bronc.
That's all right.
I ain't bragging, Ma. I'm just telling him.
Well, you must bond him, Mr. Guthrie, while he's driving.
You follow the rodeo circuit, man?
No, up to now we haven't been. We just Been working on ranches mostly.
Clean up to Montana last spring. My pa's a top hand. He ought to see him on a bronc. I only wish he'd stay put for a while. I've been to 7 schools since.
Lonnie, I told you you've done about enough talking for now.
He starts rodeoing, you'll be lucky if you stay in one school long enough to get the seat warm, Lonnie. Is your husband planning on taking it up for a living, ma'am?
No, he doesn't want to. It's just that, we need the money.
By the way, I don't think I got your name.
Davis. My husband's name's Hank Davis.
Hank Davis. I don't believe I've heard of him.
You will. He's a top hand, my pa is. He's the best bronc rider in the world.
Hey, Wes. You look ready? Always ready. It's my kid brother, Andy. Andy, Wes Holbrook.
Howdy, Wes.
Howdy, Andy.
Boy, look at that one.
That's Hargus's outlaw stud, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Wiggle.
What's he doing here?
Well, Hargus wanted to show him. Thought we might drum up some business.
That figures. Hey, Andy, you gonna go rodeo, and you better learn how to ride a fence.
Whew, don't tell me they all like that one.
There's none like him, Andy.
You better get over and check in at the office. I want to see Heber Gresham. Let's see you later.
See you, Rich.
See.
Nice to meet you, Andy.
Hiya, Heber.
Hi, I'm Mitch.
Get my wire?
I sure did. Wasn't expecting you till tonight. How those winning?
Staying lucky. Heber, I want you to meet my kid brother, Andy. Andy, this is Heber Gresham, the secretary.
Hi.
Good to know you, Andy. Gonna make a hand out of you?
Well, I'm thinking about it.
Not if I can help it. He's gonna go back and finish school first. Andy, I'm gonna be tied up here for a spell. Why don't you take care of Mrs. Davis and the boy, huh?
Who?
Hank Davis, saddle bronc rider.
Oh. His wife and boy here?
Yes, sir, out in our car.
He works for the stock contractor. He might try the bronc corral or the trailer camp.
I'll be here, Andy.
Just hold your horses.
Pa? Pa? Pa! We made it, Pa. We're here.
Well, Lonnie,
We had to come, Pa.
what are you doing here? I thought you was at your folks' house.
No, Lonnie wouldn't have it.
We come to see a ride tomorrow, and it didn't cost us a thing. We hitchhiked. Mitch Guthrie took us most of the way.
Who?
Oh, Andy Guthrie, this is my husband, Hank Davis.
Howdy.
I do.
I understand you're top saddle bronc man.
He sure is.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, I sure do thank you for bringing the folks down and all.
That's no trouble at all. Well, I expect you two like to talk a bit. Why don't I show the boy around?
Oh, all right.
Lonnie, I bet you could go for a foot-long hot dog about now. Oh, no, that's part of the service. The meal's included with the price of the ticket.
Well, thank you.
Go on, Lonnie.
Well, how you feeling?
All right.
Kind of wish you hadn't come.
Well, you know Lonnie.
You need any money?
No, I got a little bit.
Here.
No, now listen, you keep
No,
there.
no, I've made a few dollars working around here.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Did you put up your entry money?
No. I still got till 6 o'clock to decide.
Decide.
Yeah, Orly, I guess I'm just scared.
Well, Hobie, sometime, somewhere, you just gotta take a piece of ground and hold on to it.
I know that. I don't know how.
There's only one thing you can do. You know what that is?
I just don't want to see you and that boy get hurt.
Listen, they can't hurt me. Any more than they already have.
Well, mister, I knowed your brother from the first rodeo he ever rode in. Odessa, Texas, 14 years ago. Still wet behind the ears. I was a bull rider in them days.
Did Mitch win?
Oh, it seems to me he took second day money in bareback and saddle bronc.
My pa rides saddle bronc.
Top hand?
He sure is.
Okay, well, who's the one without?
That's me.
Expect you're gonna make another rodeo hand.
Mitch won't let me. Says I'll turn into a bum.
Oh, I don't know. Rodeoing ain't a bad way of life. If a man can keep from getting stove up till he wins himself a steak, I followed for 15 years. That's 50, 75, $1. I thank you.
You didn't get stove up.
You only looking at the good half, Sonny. I can't walk a lick. One of them little dandies fixed me. You're going to ride them for a living. You want to make sure your insurance is paid up.
Looks like the same man to me. October 53.
Yeah, they got it for me down at the library.
Hank Davis, Hobart Dunlap, same initials.
They do that. Might have his initials on his saddle skirt, some such. Save an explanation. What do you think?
Yeah, I had 7 or 8 years. That's the same man.
You'd want to be pretty sure.
Hey, Wes. Wes Holbrook.
In a minute.
Are you through yet?
Here's your receipt and your number.
Thank you.
Next.
Hi, Mitch.
Wes? Who's that?
That's my partner at the bronc corral.
Huh? Sure.
Sure, I'm sure. But he never said nothing to me about being in the Army.
They wouldn't.
A turncoat?
Traitor. Better word. Went over to the enemy in the Korean War is what it says there.
Heber, I think you ought to talk it out with the man before you go spreading the word around. You know what I mean? It ain't fair to...
I'll decide what's fair.
Well, you ought to hear his side of it, too.
Are you taking his part or something?
I don't even know the man.
Or you just leave it to me. Now, if the man's committed treason, he don't belong in the rodeo.
Oh. Oh, what does it say that there someplace?
But it says conduct detrimental. Look at it. That's enough for me. I don't intend to wait around.
Is this where you pay?
Yes, sir. Name, please.
Hank Davis, Saddle Bronc, Tyler, Oklahoma.
Hank Davis, Tyler, Saddle Bronc. That'll be $50.
Just a minute before we take your money. I'd like to talk to you.
Heber.
I'll handle this. You tell me what a fellow like this is doing here?
Well, I just want to ride in a rodeo.
Is that your picture?
Yes, sir.
Now, is that taken before the court-martial?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, there'll be no cowards competing in this rodeo.
Now, wait a minute, Heber. What court-martial?
Well, I served 4 years.
And a discharge without honor. I mean, you were convicted of treason.
No, sir.
Well, what would you call it?
Well, according to the article, it says conduct detrimental. It doesn't say nothing about treason. You still feel the same way?
No, sir.
You're a traitor on Sunday, then change your mind on Monday. Now, how do you manage that?
Well, I'd say it's about 4 years between Sunday and Monday, Heber. That right, Dunlap?
Yes, sir. I guess all those things in that magazine about me are true, but I'm not the same fella. Not anymore.
I've been working side by side with a gutless...
Wes, where you staying?
Trailer camp.
All right. I'm gonna be fair with you. You stay there tonight. I want you out of these rodeo grounds, out of the county, and if possible, out of this state by sundown tomorrow. If I catch hide or hair you after breakfast.
Heber, ain't no reason to carry on like that. Now, you just let the man go in his own good time.
Okay.
Hobie. I'd like to talk to you for a minute, if I could.
All right.
What's worth to you? Like if you know, I don't go along with that crowd back there. What are you gonna do now?
Oh, I don't know. Horse ranches is all I've ever known. I guess it's time I found something else.
Did you ever think about going back east? A lot of people back there, man, get lost in the crowd, you know what I mean? Could you use some money?
No thanks.
Last year's pretty good for me. I'd like to help you.
Trader.
Turncoat.
Gutless. Coward.
Traitor. Turncoat.
Gutless.
Coward. Gutless. Coward. Traitor. Coward. Turncoat. Gutless. Coward. Traitor. Turncoat. Gutless. Coward. Traitor. Turncoat. Gutless. Coward. Traitor. Turncoat. Coward. Traitor. Turncoat.
Dear God, forgive me for what I did and what I am about to do.
Pa! Pa? I'm glad I found you.
What are you doing here?
I was looking for you.
Oh, well, I just was checking the chutes over there.
Then you put up the money?
Yeah, look, you go on back to your mom. You tell her everything's gonna be all right.
Come with me?
No, you go on. Go on now. Go on.
You'll feel better when you get a steak under your belt. You know, Andy, there's one thing you gotta learn on the rodeo circuit. You just can't go taking on everybody else's trouble. You can dig up more kinds of human misery in just 1 hour back of the chutes than an ordinary man runs across in his whole lifetime. Like last year at Pendleton, there was this guy who had 4 wives. It's the sorriest hand I ever saw.
They let him ride?
Well, sure they let him ride. Why not?
They didn't say you got 4 wives, so you can't ride? Or go to Arabia or someplace where everybody's got 4 wives? We don't want no part of you? They didn't say that.
No, they didn't.
Tattooed on his back. Never wash off in a million years. Where's it end?
What?
Punishment?
Well, maybe it never does, Andy. Maybe it just goes on the rest of his life. I don't know.
Well, I expect that'll be a great comfort to Lonnie and his ma to know that. Makes it easier to go hungry if you know why.
I offered him money, Andy. Now, what else could I do?
Stand up and speak your piece.
All right. All right, what should I say?
I don't know. I don't rightly know what, but you could say something. You gotta say something.
Well, I must have been out of my head when I promised to take you rodeo, and I'll tell you that.
You coming?
You go on. I'll be back in a little bit.
Where are you going?
Drugstore. We're out of toothpaste.
He hadn't worn this shirt in 10 years.
Was that his last rodeo?
Just before he went in the Army. No earthly use ironing it now. Just does me good to keep my hands busy. I'm sorry. Let me freshen that up for you.
Thanks.
You know, Lonnie's soaping down Hobie's boots. I wish I could tell you what you want to know. I don't know myself. See, Hobie won't say a word about it, even to me. All he ever says is God Almighty can't change what he did, so why should he talk about it?
What about, Lonnie? I mean, does he know about it?
No. No, he's just a baby then. All he knows is his daddy's name is a cuss word. He's made up his mind that what they say about him can't be true. He sets great store by his daddy. But you know, there's little holes in this thing that's just from laying the cedar chips.
Tattooed on his back.
Hmm?
What he did's done. Nothing's gonna change what happened.
I don't think he knows why it happened. He was 740 days in a prison camp. I read what they did to him. I read it in a magazine. I never heard it from him. He just wasn't ready for it. That was the trouble. He was never more than 50 miles from the farm he grew up on. So all of a sudden, he was thousands of miles away. Caught him, just wore him out. Gave him practically nothing to eat. And then they just hammered at him day and night. All kinds of big words that he never even heard before. 740 days and nights till he didn't know right from wrong. just didn't know.
Lonnie?
I'm getting your boots ready for tomorrow, Pa.
Good job.
They were stiff as a board to begin with. I soaked them 3 times. Ma says they're older than I am.
You're right. I took a purse and saddle bronc with these when I was 18 years old.
They still look good, Pa.
Yeah, they've had a long rest.
Ma borrowed an iron from a lady down the line, getting your shirt all slicked up for you. You'll be the best-looking hand in the parade.
Hobie?
In a minute. Honey, I thank you for soaking down my boots, but I won't be in that parade tomorrow. I won't be in the rodeo either.
Hobie, please.
See, Lonnie, they found out about me. And it's time you knew about me, too.
I know about you, Pa.
No, you don't either. I was a traitor to this country during the Korean War. First time you met me, I'd been in an army prison for 4 years.
Pa, I don't want to hear about it.
I know it's hard to hear, son, but I think of all the people in the world, you got most right to know the truth.
Well, why were you a traitor, Pa?
I don't quite know, son. I never even heard of those people before I left the farm. But I hadn't been away more than a year before I was wounded, taken prisoner, and put in the school they had. They said I needed education. Seeing as I never had much of education, I didn't argue with them. Some of the fellas did, but I didn't. And for the first time in my life, I went to school regular. 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. They helped me with my writing and reading and taught me a lot about history I never knew before. And then they got political, and I never did know much about politics, and I got all mixed up. And they were so much smarter than me and all. I just didn't know. Later on, the paper said I was a communist. I was no communist. I don't think I was a communist. But I don't know what I was. I just didn't know. See, son, that's why I want you to have a proper education when you grow up. So you'll know who you are and why. And I'm sorry.
Lonnie?
Still the best bronc rider in the world. You hear that? You hear that, Mr. Guthrie? Could beat the pants off you.
Bet he could. He's gonna get his chance tomorrow, too. You tell him... Lonnie, you tell him that Mitch Guthrie's out to settle the question of who's best. You tell him to be down at that rodeo office tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, to draw his bronc. Got that, Lonnie?
Yes, sir.
9 o'clock sharp. You go on now, you tell him. $20, $40, $50.
What for?
Hank Davis, saddle bronc.
I thought he changed his mind.
Well, he changed it back again.
The deadline was at 6 o'clock.
Well, he was down in 5 minutes, too. Now, you just put him right back again, honey, and you'd be surprised. Won't hurt a bit.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I'm getting hungry. How about that steak?
What do you think you're doing, Mitch?
Hope he decides to ride tomorrow.
Oh, did he?
You rub his name out, just rub mine out, too.
Well, now, you're kidding me. You're a #1 attraction you can't pull out.
Sue me.
Oh, come on, Mitch. Now, come on in here. Let me explain a couple of things to you. Now, Mitch. Oh, you're an old friend, and you're a reasonable man, Mitch. I don't want us to get all riled up about this thing, go stomping off in a nervous tizzy. You're our main attraction tomorrow. Got billboards all the way from here to San Antonio with your picture on it. Thousands of people gonna come just see you. See, now, the point is, we both got to be reasonable.
You know, I'm glad to hear you say that, Heber. Because if everybody was reasonable, we wouldn't have any problems, would we?
That's right, Mitch. Now, just like
we'd just sit down and we'd look at things where they are instead of letting our tempers get in the way, you know? Reasonable like.
Well, sure, Mitch. Now, listen. Here's the
say
way...
to ourselves, Hobie Dunlap's paid for his crime. His slate's clean. He's got a wife and a boy to support. We'd say all he knows is horses. Now, we got to give him a chance to work at his trade. We wouldn't mix it up with a lot of hot-headed stuff that's supposed to sound like patriotism, but really isn't, would we?
What do you mean? It ain't patriotism?
It ain't patriotism to stomp on a man when he's trying to get back on his feet.
Now, wait a minute. Now, just a minute, Mitch. Now, let me spell something out for you. Your feelings can run pretty high around here. That man shows up here tomorrow, we're apt to have a riot on our hands.
Oh, come on, Heber. What are you trying to tell me?
I know this country, Mitch. These are my people. I'm up for re-election next month as county supervisor here. I can't afford to associate myself.
Wait a minute. Now we're getting there. That's just what I've been waiting for.
Now, you listen to me, Mitch.
It ain't got nothing to do with patriotism, has it? You're afraid if you stand on a principle, you'd lose the election. Well, let me tell you something. The people around here just might surprise you.
Now, Mitch Guthrie, you stand up for that man. You're a traitor yourself.
I want to be sure I understand you right, Heber. Say that again.
What's going on in there?
Mr. Gresham's a bearcat when his mind's made up.
So is Mitch.
Somebody give me a hand, will you? Heber just fainted dead away.
Not a chance in the world of keeping him out of it. His card's paid up in the association. Hasn't broken any of the rules, as far as I know.
What do the rules say?
Let me see. Contestant disqualification. Contestants will be disqualified for any of the following offenses. 1, being under the influence of liquor in the arena. 2, quarreling or rowdyism in the arena. Nope. 3, mistreatment of stock. 4, cheating or attempting to cheat. 5, refusal to contest during a paid performance on a mount drawn for him.
Read that one again.
Refusal to contest during a paid performance on a mount drawn for him.
Who says?
Gloria.
Well, now, what's she know about it?
Well, she saw the stock list with her own eyes. His name was wrote right at the bottom.
I've been working for Hargis for a long time. I think I know him pretty good. He ain't about to risk that stud on the saddle.
Risk him? What about me?
Well, you may not draw him.
Ain't nobody gonna draw that horse. His name ain't even on the stock list.
Well, I'll tell you, boy, they put that stud in the arena with a man on his back. I wouldn't even want to be riding pickup.
He treed Hargis once.
Who told you that?
He told me himself. Chased him up a cottonwood and tried to clumb up after him. That's no lie.
I know it ain't no lie. That horse is crazy. Most broncs are satisfied just to buck a man off, not him. That's just half the battle with him. He wants to turn on a man and stomp and chew him with his teeth till he kills him.
Hey, Wes, you trying to cheer us up?
No. I'm just trying to give you a couple dozen reasons why Harkus ain't gonna put that horse on the saddle tomorrow or any other day. What do you say we change the subject?
His name's on the list. I've seen it myself.
Fuego?
That's right. Suicide to me.
Saddle bronc drawn coming up. Well, I hope I don't get him.
Me too.
Hey, Mitch. Beginning to think you weren't gonna show up?
Yeah, well, I'm here. Did you mean what you said about?
Yeah. Well, by the way, I think Heber's been reading his little yellow rule book. He's gonna win his election if it kills us.
Oh, well, you're ahead of me, huh?
Come on in, catch up.
This is the saddle bronc event. Names will be called in the order they appear on the board. As your names are called, you step forward, draw your mount out of this hat. First contestant, Jerry McLean. Jerry McLean.
Dynamo.
Dynamo. Jerry McLean draws Dynamo. Next contestant, Walt Anderson. Walt Anderson.
Say, Hargus, tell me something. What got into you to let him buck that big money stud of yours tomorrow? If that horse gets hurt, you're out a pretty piece of change, you know that?
If he ain't rode, he won't get hurt.
Mitch Guthrie.
A little lower, Heber. I want to get down the bottom.
You draw like everybody else.
Down in the fold, Heber, where you're hanging onto that special one for Hobie Dunlap. There it is. I got it. Now you just turn it loose up. Go and read it.
Fuego. Mitch Guthrie draws Fuego.
Fuego.
You're gonna change your mind, Heber, and withdraw that horse?
You drew him, now you ride him.
He's gonna ride.
Either that or he's gonna ride me.
Dirty Hale draws Black Devil. Black Devil.
Fuego will kill him.
If it does, I'll give him a medal. Next contestant, Red Dugan.
Hi, Pa.
Just wait there for a minute. You change your mind about coming.
You ought to know better than that.
Anybody saying anything to you, you just don't pay them any attention, you hear?
I won't even hear him. I'll be watching you.
You run along now. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to San Andres and our first performance of the World Championship Rodeo. For those of you who are attending our rodeo for the first time, remember it's a contest from start to finish. Each of our contestants here this afternoon has paid an entrance fee to compete in our various contest events. We have cowboys, cowgirls from all over the United States and Canada here competing for thousands of dollars of prize money. How about a nice welcome for our grand entry? Another colorful portion of grand entry called the Serpentine Ride, where they wind back and forth around the pivot horses, displaying all the various colors of horse flesh we have represented, as well as costume and outfit. Leading our colorful grand entry are our flag bearers. You'll see them in action here this afternoon later on in our trick and fancy riding. Ladies and gentlemen, a special added attraction here this afternoon, trick and fancy roping by Monty Montana and family.
Morning edition. Now that was next to the ham and eggs on 50,000 breakfast tables today.
Well, they ain't shot him so far. Maybe they'll let him ride.
Oh, Mitch.
It's just that I got more confidence in the people down here than you got, Hebert. Well, they make a mistake every once in a while, like electing you county commissioner, but in the long run, they... It's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of guts, but he's gonna make it.
announced our grand entry, ready to go with our first contest event out of the bucking chutes, bareback horse riding, an 8-second ride to the sound of the whistle. Our contest to bareback riding, you must spur over the shoulders. That first jump out of the chute, then continue to spur throughout the ride to the satisfaction of our rodeo judges. All set with our first rider, and here we go. Out of chute 7, Dick Baldwin on black velvet. No score on the ride. Lou Spencer out of chute 3 on Silver Streak. Silver Streak won that contest. Now coming out of chute 5, Wild Dave Williams on Tempest. He's riding side saddle, folks. Out of chute 1, ladies and gentlemen, Mickey Adams on TNT.
Give me another pen.
Oh. How much longer you figure that knee will hold?
It's getting stronger every day.
I wish you wouldn't ride that horse. I'm sorry I said it.
Looks like he ain't gonna like this ride any more than I am.
Wild Brahma bull riding. Contestant rides with a bull rope or loose rope. He rides for 8 seconds to the sound of that whistle. Not required to spur in bull riding. However, if he spurs, it counts more points in his favor. And here we go with our first rider this afternoon. Ride him, boy. It's a rough one. And it's a qualified ride on our first contestant this afternoon. Better hurry, fellas. Climb those fences.
There he is. That's him.
What's it say?
I don't know.
This one's a spinner, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, look out. Stay aboard, cowboy. Another qualified ride by Waddy Lester. Move right along into our next contest event. It'll be cowboy steer wrestling. And here comes Pee Wee Ray. Time, 11 and 4/10 seconds. Our next contestant, Slim Miller. Time, 13 and 1/10 seconds. And here comes Pete Lewis. Hang on, Pete. Time, 12 seconds flat. Now back to the bucking chutes in our next contest event. It'll be cowboy saddle bronc riding. And here's Red Dugan on Wild Billy. And he's a wild one.
How tight's that flank strap?
One more knot, you blow out the chute. Easy, you miserable flea bag.
Don't be cross with him.
Out of chute 2, Jerry McLean on Dynamo. Ride him, Jerry. Whoa! And here's Tony Epperson aboard Big Sam. Uh-oh, there goes Tony.
Hey, get next up. Get in place in the chute.
Okay. I'll be ready when my turn comes.
Hey, check that cinch.
Yeah, Mitch. Loose rein, remember? He bucks with his head down.
Yes, sir.
Never mind spurring, huh? Just stay on.
Worry wart.
Our next contestant will be champion all-around cowboy Mitch Guthrie. Mitch is riding the stud of George Hargis' nationally famous rodeo string, And if he rides him to the whistle this afternoon, it'll be the first time this horse has been qualified on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitch Guthrie on Fuego.
All right, let me have him.
Qualified ride on Fuego. He rode him. Looks like he's in trouble.
Mitch!
He's having trouble getting off.
Mitch!
This horse is a real outlaw. This horse is a killer.
You hurt?
No.
Ain't gonna be riding on that, that's for sure.
I'll be okay.
I've stood and will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of this community for honesty, truth, and fairness. Every citizen of this great and glorious land of ours must have his chance.
Who said that, Sam Houston?
Heber Gresham, statement to the press.
Yeah. They elect Heber, it serves them right.
Mitch?
No, you ain't gonna enter the bareback in Denver.
Riding Brahma bulls and wild horses and bulldogging steers is a mighty hazardous business. It takes rugged men to survive in this sport. I'm sure you'll agree that Mitch Guthrie and others like him are certainly entitled to our admiration.
In coming weeks, Fred Astaire will present encore performances by Charlton Heston, Hugh O'Brien, Dana Andrews, Lloyd Bridges, and many others. Next week, Fred Astaire invites you to join him when he presents Of This Time, of That Place, the moving drama of a college instructor who faces a grave crisis and risks his future to help a brilliant but troubled student.